Welcome, welcome, welcome to episode 83 of Sketching Up. I know, let's just start here. I know you're like listening and you're expecting to hear all about The Flash and you're expecting to hear our thoughts on it and all that stuff, but we'll get into that in a little bit. We'll get into more of the episode in about 2 seconds. Let's just get some ads out of the way. A new episode of Mad Props has gone up recently, about a week or two ago. Chloe King was on, a friend of mine. Talked about a bunch of stuff. I'm not even going to list the things, a bunch of stuff. You can go get that now. A new episode will be coming out shortly, hopefully next week, if not in 2 weeks. Also, a new episode of the Offstage podcast will be coming out next week. It's been about 2 months since the last episode, but a new episode will be coming out next week. So go to Schnabel Studios to find that. You can also find us on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, TikTok, LinkedIn, and wherever you get your social media. Schnabel Studios, Schnabel Studios. You can also search that wherever you get your podcasts to listen to all the podcasts I just mentioned, or you can look that up on YouTube, and you can find us there as well. Now that that's all out of the way, coming up on this episode of Sketching Up, you were probably expecting to hear about The Flash. Here are our thoughts. First of all, it's just me. Actually, I should say third of all at this point. It's just me here today because none of us have seen The Flash. We were all so excited. We were all ready to go see it. We were going to drop an episode right at 12 the day it came out, and then none of us went to see it. I think that speaks more of the movie than actually seeing it, is that, you know, especially Matt and I, who were very, very hype on the movie, did not have really the desire to go see it when it finally came out. It wasn't like a Marvel movie. It wasn't like Mario. It wasn't like Across the Spider-Verse, I should say. We just didn't have any desire, so we didn't go see it. So that will not be coming up, but I will be talking about the new Nintendo Direct. I want to talk about some of the highlights in my eyes, some of the stuff I'm excited the most for, break down what I will be getting coming out of the Nintendo Direct, and go over stuff like that. So let's hit the intro and let's get started. Episode 82 of Sketching Up. Welcome in Sketching Up. If you missed our last couple episodes, we've had some good ones. We went over Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse, and we actually did a Flash preview, which makes it even funnier that none of us has seen it. But if you haven't seen any of those or any of the previous 80 before that, definitely go check that out. I want to give a shout out to Charlie Rosen. So if you have been here since day one, Charlie Rosen came on the first ever episode. He's one of like 2 or 3 guests we've ever had. He came on, he talked about 8-Bit Big Band, which is why I had him come on. He just won his second Tony. So this man has propelled into absolute stardom in the music industry since coming on the show. He has won a Grammy and 2 Tonys. So congratulations, Charlie. We really appreciate you here at the show. This episode, we're going to go over the Nintendo Direct. There were some really cool highlights, especially if you're a Mario fan. They really dropped some big Mario fan news. And if you're watching right now, you may see I have a little bit of a different background. I actually have my PlayStation on one side of the background. This is where I started playing my PlayStation more often. And I have some stuff on a shelf behind me as well. For people that have been watching recently, there hasn't really been anything behind me, but that's because I just moved my desk around, and now we are building up. We have a bunch of stuff that's going to go up. There, we can show some of it off. This is not going to go up. This is my Radiant Black issue 1. That is just sitting here right now. This will be going up from an episode of our old Offstage podcast, which the new one, like I said, it should be coming on next week. We were supposed to interview Big Boy of Outcast. We got to the trailer and he couldn't do it anymore, so he signed a couple CDs for us. So that's where that one came from. That'll be going in the back. If you're listening, you're just gonna have to listen to what everything is. I'm only showing off 2 things. We have to just listen to what it is. So I'm going to describe this one a little more. The last one was just the speaker box CD cover. So that's all you missed if you're just listening. Now, if you're watching, you'll see the next thing I pulled up. If you're listening, I'm going to talk about it right now. It is a comic strip of Star versus the Forces of Evil. It was Darren Nefcy created before, like, this is what led to the show, Star versus the Forces of Evil. If you are a Mad Props listener, Darren Nefcy was a guest pretty, I don't want to say early on. She was like maybe she was early on. I think she was like somewhere between 10 and maybe she was number 9 or something like that of our 45 episodes now. But she sent this over. It is the scan of the original comic. You can see she drew a little star figure here. Thanks for having me on the show. And she signed it at the bottom. So that'll be going up there as well. And along with that, we have stuff from Scott Koblish, who's another Mad Props guest that'll be going up. We have a signed card from Jason Page that he gave us that'll be going up. I've shown that one off already on the show. So there'll be some stuff that goes up behind me that is just tributes to some people that have been on the show that have been kind enough to send us stuff afterwards. So that's what'll be going up there. Yeah. So that's kind of the update on this situation. But let's get into the Nintendo Direct. It's probably going to be a shorter episode. Like I said, I'm by myself, and I just kind of want to really talk about the things I'm super excited for from the Nintendo Direct. So some of the highlights for me, and I'm going to be reading off notes. So if you're watching, I'm not staring at you. That's because I'm going to be reading off my notes. To me, the biggest one, and I'm a huge Mario fan, Super Mario Bros. Wonder, new side-scrolling 2D Mario game. It looks amazing. It very much has new Super Mario Bros. Vibes, but I'm okay with that. It just looks really good. There's some new enemies we get to see. We got to see that it'll let you play as Mario, Luigi, Toad, Peach, Daisy, Yoshi. It looks really good. I'm very excited for it. I know the big thing going around the internet is the elephant power-up for Mario. They like to put in these new power-ups all the time to see which ones will stick, which ones won't. And that seems to be the new one coming out in October. Some big stuff I noticed in the trailer itself was the worlds. They just look so different. You got to see, like, there were like Goombas sleeping. The PD Piranhas came out of the pipes. There's new mechanics like the gliding and the swimming up the downpour rain, and enemies will jump, enemies will be sleeping, enemies will be on rollerblades. Just a lot of different things that we really haven't seen, or stuff that we kind of seen that are really getting more into the game. So I'm really excited to see how this comes out in October. So it's going to be a little while. I wonder if this was supposed to try to coincide with the movie. And maybe it just took a little longer to create, but it just looks really cool. It looks kind of trippy sometimes. There was one that I remember when the pipes kind of just started going crazy after he grabbed that one flower. And just some of the stuff, it kind of like looks a little crazy sometimes, and that's nothing bad about it. These games kind of will look that way. I like how it has a different look. I'm very much all in on that game. The other big game they announced was Mario wise, was the Super Mario RPG remake. Did they give us, I think maybe November was the release date for that. I'm not going to go too much into that, but Super Mario RPG is a game from, I believe, the 90s. It's very niche popularity. But it looks like it could be a good time. It really does. I love when they remodel the old games and make them look really good. The graphics in Mario games are unbelievable. You'll play as Mario, Peach, and Bowser. I don't remember if Luigi was one of those two. I don't know if they're playable characters or not, but this is a turn-based game, almost like Mario and Luigi Superstar Sega. I think it's going to be cool. I've never played Super Mario RPG, the original. It's tough to play. It's tough to find and things like that. So I've never really had the opportunity to play it. So I'm excited to be able to play it for the first time, which is why they make these remakes, right? So people will buy it that have never played it, and the people that love it will buy it again They know what they're doing. They're very smart. Another one that looks really good is the Detective Pikachu 2 coming to the Switch in October. Um, I am a big fan of the movie. It's not gonna have like the same voices or anything like that of the movie, but I didn't play the first game. The first game was for the 3DS, and I did not own the game for the 3DS. I guess I could have, and I hear it's very good. But the trailer made it look really good. It looks like it's gonna be funny. It looks like it's gonna be a good game. And a lot of people like Detective Pikachu, the first one. So, excuse me. I know a couple other things like WarioWare, Metal Gear Solid are coming out. Those are exciting for some people. And Pikmin 4, I personally am not fans, but I don't really play any of those games, so it's not a big deal to me. Pokemon Scarlet and Violet, Hidden Treasure Area Zero expansions. We got a little bit of a a preview of what it's going to look like. We got to see some of the Pokemon. We got to see some of the backgrounds, some of the animations, things like that. I think it's going to look really good. I've already got the 2 DLCs bought. I believe you're able to buy both of them on the Nintendo online store, and I did that because that's what I do when I love a game. So that's going to be really cool. You got to see, like I said, some of the Pokemon. You got to see some of the animations. You got to see a lot of different stuff. That's going to be great. Another one people were really flipping out about online was Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. Has 3 new characters. Petey Piranha, Kamek, and Wiggler will all be joining the Mario Kart 8. It's so strange. Mario Kart 8, there's always rumors that 9 will come out, and then they said they're having all these add-ons. They announced it in a previous Nintendo Direct. So it doesn't make sense for them. They don't ever need to make 9 until they make a new system. Like Mario Kart 8 Deluxe can actually be the game that just continues on until they make a new system. And I think even when they make the new system, they could just make Mario Kart 8 Super Deluxe and put it on the new system, because all they do is it's just Mario Kart, and they just keep updating the maps, they update the drivers, they update like the modes, they update all this stuff all the time, and it just keeps the servers running and keeps people buying that same game. And of course, you can do the thing where like you make Mario Kart 9, and then you have to buy 9 if you want to continue playing. But Nintendo's pretty good at, putting out one game and then making you buy all this add-on stuff to really make you want to, if you really play competitively, or you really like playing it and you want to stay on top of it, you have to go buy the booster packs, you have to go buy the new tracks, you have to buy the DLCs, and they're very good at doing that with the DLCs. So I don't think you ever need to make 9. It's still probably one of the top selling sports games out there is Mario Kart 8, even though it's been out since the Switch came out in 2017. So they showed the new booster course pack, and the big one to come with the courses was that Wiggler, Petey Piranha, and Kamek will all be added to the racer lineup. Something that really got me excited, and that's because I played this game one time. I played it mostly all the way through. I played it in like a store in 2013 when it came out. Luigi's Mansion Dark Moon Remastered will be coming to the Switch. I didn't really get to enjoy this game because at the time, I believe it was for the 3DS, and I didn't own a 3DS. So I was never able to play it. And by the time I got a 3DS, which was many years after, it was just impossible to get the game because it was so expensive. And when I got my 3DS, the 3DS store closed like very soon after that. So you weren't able to get games after that. Maybe you can. I haven't turned on my 3DS in a while. But it's just like if you wanted to get it on the 3DS, it was like $50. If you wanted to get off the 3DS, it was like $40. And it's just expensive to get when the game's that old. And then you're sitting there this is probably 3 years ago. I get this 2 years ago, maybe. And you're like, they're going to remaster this game for the Switch, and I'm going to buy it for 60, and then it's going to come out for 60 on the Switch. So there's a lot of stuff that went into it. I never got it, so I didn't really play it. I did play it a little bit in a store in 2013 because I was a huge Luigi's Mansion fan. I've been waiting for them to remake the original. Waiting for them to remake the original for the Switch. I will be the first in line to buy that game. I loved that game. I haven't played it in probably 20 years, and I want to play it so badly. But anywhere you see Luigi's Mansion, any store that sells it, it's like $70, $80 because it's so hard to get a copy of it. So with all that being said, Dark Moon is going to be something very exciting for me because I didn't really get to enjoy the game, and I'm really excited to enjoy it. I thought Luigi's Mansion 3 was very good. It was family friendly, but at the same time you can enjoy it as an adult, and it carried on the Luigi's Mansion vibe very well. So I very, very much enjoyed. I very, very much enjoyed this. Okay, what else? And after I explain all these, I will go into some other stuff. There's only a couple of more that I will really go through that really were big for me. They were big for me. It's not that they weren't big. There's plenty of big ones. But to me, I'm naming the ones that I am most excited for. Personally. So the last two I'll say was the Sonic Superstars got a gameplay trailer, which I don't know if I will buy Sonic Superstars, but it was cool to see the 2D action of Sonic. I'm sure people will love that game when it comes out. That's coming out in the fall. I will say, probably not number one, but top 3 on my list of things that were announced. And I don't even know if this was a big deal to other players. The Arkham Trilogy was announced for the Switch. Now, to me, this is a huge deal because I am someone that likes to play those games. I have the Arkham Trilogy for my PlayStation. It is very hard for me to play my PlayStation. I don't like sitting at the TV. As you see, I have it here at my desk for when I want to play here. I just don't like sitting at a TV and playing. I can't play for longer than an hour. Any game does not matter on my PlayStation. I just can't do it. But on my Switch, I can play games forever because I can go from my couch to my chair to my bed. It doesn't matter. I could play it wherever. I play handheld more than I play on the TV. I'm a handheld player of the Switch. I feel like you're one or the other. You're either a handheld player on the Switch, or you're either a handheld player on the Switch, or you are a TV player on the Switch. There's not many people that are both. Now, obviously, I'm a handheld player, but I will play on the TV if I'm playing with people or something. But sometimes I don't even do that. I do play with people on kickstand up. I have done that. But most of the time when I do that, it's like the TV, we can't get it to the TV or we're out and about. And I mean, that's why I love the Switch, because you can do stuff like that. Just take the 2 controllers off the side and 2 people can play Super Smash Brothers or Mario Kart or something like that. It's something it has over the other systems big time. Anyway, but I just completely lost my train of thought. I'm a player that loves the handheld versions of things. So I've always wanted to really go through the Arkham series again. Like I said, I have for my PlayStation. I've gone through it one time, and I have not picked it up since. And I want to. I want to pick it up, but I just I can't sit there for hours at my it really has to be like Spider-Man for me to sit there for hours and just go through the whole game. So now that it's coming to the Switch, it's a big deal for me because I will buy the trilogy and I'll play it fully through. And I'm probably going to really enjoy it because I do like those games a lot, and I haven't played them in a long time, and I'm very excited to be able to play them. So that's the big one for me coming out. So there's a couple games that I really want to talk about that were announced. I guess I'll talk a little bit more about the Batman one. but we'll talk about that at the end because I have a different opinion. I will say my number one is Super Mario Wonder. I just think that the gameplay looks so incredibly similar, but at the same time so incredibly different than it usually does. It has that feel of a Mario game while also having a feel of a game you've never played before. It almost looks like RPG a little bit, just because like the way the characters move and stuff like that are just so different from the way they used to. Especially the way the worlds move. Like I said, the pipes at one point will just go up and down. You can swim up the waterfalls. There's all these new power ups and all this new stuff. They're really trying to bring back the Mario 2D platformers. Although the 3D open worlds are my favorite ones, and for most people, like Galaxy 64, Sunshine, Odyssey, those are people's favorite games. But the 2D side scrollers, they're trying to bring them back. They really are, because that's Mario's roots, right? He's a 2D side scrolling guy. I actually also believe that this does not mean we will not be seeing a new Mario game, 3D game soon. I actually totally believe that this game that has I think that we'll still see one in the next couple of years. I really do. I think an either Odyssey 2 or something like some 3D Mario game is going to be coming out so soon. It's been how many years since Odyssey? I think 5 years since Odyssey. And that's about how long it was since we got Breath of the Wild. So now the second one has come out. I think Mario's next. I think Mario will get his 3D game next year. This is what I assume. We'll get like a Nintendo Direct at the end of this year, and we'll get a very short snippet followed by some explanation of what it is, and it's going to be the new Mario, probably Odyssey 2. I'm assuming they're going to go Odyssey 2 because Odyssey was just such a successful game. Although, yeah, Odyssey 2 will probably be what they do. They do that with a lot of those games. I mean, Galaxy was 1 and 2. Obviously, the originals were 1, 2, and 3. So that's probably what they'll do. They'll probably go Odyssey 2. So, but for now, we're gonna have Wonder, and we get to see all this new stuff and see all this stuff they're gonna be playing with, and see what they do. They got to keep these games. They got to keep these games relevant. They've been doing it for over 30 years, 40 years actually. I think it's been. So they got to keep it relevant somehow, right? Yeah, 35 was a couple years ago, so almost 40 years. So that's my opinion on that. What I was going to say about the Arkham series. This is my one thing I'm very nervous about with the Arkham series. I think it's going to be cloud play, and if it's cloud play, it's just automatically out. Guardians of the Galaxy was cloud play, and you need very, very strong connection to get that. Like, you need very strong connection for that game, and the Arkham series, it's very, especially if it's the remastered series, very detailed, looks very good. It would be tough to not see that as cloud play, and if that's it, like, it just becomes very choppy. It skips a lot, it freezes a lot, it buffers a lot, and it kind of just ruins the gameplay. So as excited as I am for that to come to the Switch, I'm also nervous that it's going to be cloud play and it's going to kind of ruin the game itself, especially because you always have to be on the internet. So then, as I was just saying, I don't like being at a TV when I play. Well, that all changes. That changes because I have to be near internet. So I could do it at my house, but if like I go on the road, I can't play it. Or if I go like outside, I can't play it or something like that. So we gotta hope that it's not going to be on cloud play or anything like that. But if it's not, I think it should be one of the more exciting things because it's a very successful series and people love it, and people absolutely love it. So we'll go with more thoughts after this. Let's take a quick break. So before we finish up, I'm just going to do a couple of more thoughts here that I had after watching this. So Yeah, very quick thoughts. So not much left on this episode. The first thought I had when I watched this was where was the sports game? As far as I know, and I guess I could do a quick search. Mario. I guess I could have done this during our break. Um, yeah. So there was no Mario sports game announced, which Mario sports games are usually a yearly thing. And this year it was highly, highly, highly rumored it was going to be Mario Baseball. So when I watched it, I was like glued waiting for the ball to hit the glove or, them to pick up a bat or something. I was waiting for it. And there was no sports game announced. There was no Mario sports game announced. So it was a little not concerning, but a little confusing because usually that's a yearly thing. My theories on this, I have two theories on this. One, they just weren't done developing it and they're not going to put something out they're not done developing, right? So instead of putting out a new sports game, they just, for this year, they made the booster packs for Mario Kart and they're just going to go with that. And that's going to be it. That's probably what happened in the next year. We'll see the game. What I'm hoping the theory is it was not developed enough yet because there was so much backlash from strikers that the game came out incomplete, and then yet they charged you for everything, or they didn't charge you. They DLC'd everything. That was the same idea they had going into this one last year, and they realized we can't do this. This has to be a complete game, so they shelved it for a year. They're developing it more, and then next year we get a very complete Mario Baseball game. Because I personally think that Mario Baseball coming to the Switch will be one of the most successful Mario sports games to come to the Switch. The reason I believe this is one, I think that means they're developing it much further, and two, there's a huge competitive scene for Mario Baseball. And Nintendo's not dumb. They probably know this. If there's a competitive scene and they could take advantage of that, you may as well put out the best product you can. So then you can really take advantage, have tournaments, have good DLCs, have a game that's going to be successful, everybody buys, and things like that. So that's my theory on why we didn't see it, and I'm hoping that's correct because I really want Mario Baseball to come out. It's my favorite game. I've streamed it a bunch of times. I don't really stream, but I've streamed that game probably about 5 times. You can even see it on the Leaf Bracer channel. If you look up Leaf Bracer Mario Baseball, you will find me going through. It's like a 6-part series of me playing Mario Baseball. So it's that's what I'm hoping happens. I was very shocked when I didn't see it, and when I didn't see it, I was actually a little happy because I figured that means they're going and developing it and making it really good, and that's what we'll hope happens. Just hope they make it really good. My other surprise was there was not a Zelda DLC announced. They did announce that there will be Amiibos, a new Amiibos, one of Zelda and one of Gandalf, that will become available. But I thought they would announce that a DLC is in the process to come out early 2024. I don't think anything on this list was 2024. Let me go back to my release dates really quick. Yeah, none of these were 2024. They're all 2023. So maybe that's why we didn't see it. Yeah, these are all fall 2023. So I'll have to assume that's why we didn't see that, because I'm thinking the game just comes out, you give it about a year, and then you put a DLC, one in the spring, one in the fall, just like they did for Breath of the Wild. That's most likely what they're going to do. So I was surprised they didn't announce like they're making the DLC. It's going to be early 2024, but we'll probably see it in the next Nintendo Direct. So I guess that shouldn't be too surprising. Some other games that didn't get DLCs. I guess it wasn't that successful. Kirby has never gotten a DLC. And I guess it doesn't need a DLC for what it is, but most of their mainstream games, Zelda, Pokemon, Mario. Does Mario get DLCs? Actually, maybe Mario doesn't get DLCs either. I don't think Odyssey had any DLCs. Yeah, I don't think it had any DLCs, so that's actually false. But it didn't get any DLCs or any love at all, so it must not have been that successful. The last thing we'll talk about is the Princess Peach game. I'm not exactly sure what's going on there, but I it did strike me as interested. It looks like it's bundled with the remake of Luigi's Mansion, so it'll be like when Bowser's Fury came with Mario 3D World, where you got the remake of 3D World and then Bowser's Fury. It looks like that's going to be kind of the same. Like I said, I'm not really 100% sure what was going on in that trailer. I don't know if it's supposed to be like this is a show and like you're watching the show, or if this is supposed to be like, you know, an actual adventure. So we'll have to see what happens there. But the reason I saved this for last is because my last point I really want to say, it's something that Nintendo's now starting to do, it looks like, that I really enjoy. They're having these remakes, which off the cusp, like the remakes can be very frustrating, right? Like you're buying a game that you've bought before, but it seems like Nintendo is taking these remakes and packaging them with new games. Now, this is the second time they've done this. I don't think they've done it any times between now and Bowser's Fury. But you have this new game in Bowser's Fury, which was a shorter game, but it was a new game packaged with 3D World. So you're buying a game that you love and already know, but it comes with this new experience that you also get. And it seems like Luigi's Mansion is going to be packaged with the Princess Peach game. So if they keep doing this, I think this is a huge, great move for Nintendo. You just add these games that are a couple hours long to play. They're not going to be super extended, right? It's going to take you maybe 3 hours, 4 hours to beat this game. But the fact that you're buying a game that you love and you're also getting something new at the same time, I think is big time. I really think that's big time. And I hope Nintendo continues to do this. This is, like I said, now the second time I think they've done it, and it's something I really appreciate. It shows that even though they know you're going to pay for the thing you already own, they'll also give you something new so you can also experience a new world on top of that. So I just wanted to say that about that point, because I really hope that's the case. I really hope because they didn't do it with the Zelda one when Skyward Sword came out, but I think that's just because Skyward Sword was not really successful and they were trying to push it to get more money off of something that wasn't successful. But whole other thing. I do like this. I think it's a good idea, and the Princess Peach game did pique my interest just a little bit there. Other than all that, the Nintendo Direct was very. I guess let's end this with what I think about the Nintendo Direct. I would give it 4.5 stars out of 5. That half star being because I'm shocked that no sports game was announced. I was really hoping Mario Baseball would be coming to us in a couple of weeks, in July at some point, but this is really for fall 2023. So I guess I should be more shocked that I didn't hear from it last time. But I thought overall, especially as a Mario fan, this was huge. I mean, you get a Princess Peach game, you get a Luigi's Mansion, you get RPG, you get Wonder, you get Mario Kart, you get a lot of Mario-based things all in one, and WarioWare too, if you're a Wario fan. There was also WarioWare. So if you're a Mario-based fan, it was a big time day for you. You know, you really got a lot of really cool stuff. And I have a feeling most of this stuff is coming out all at once because it was supposed to come out coinciding with the Mario movie. It would make a lot of sense. Especially, I will say right now, Mario Wonder was probably supposed to come out coinciding with the movie. And the Luigi's Mansion and Princess Peach game was probably supposed to coincide with the movie, because a new Mario game makes too much sense as the movie comes out, right? The movie comes out, and then like a month later, you put out a game, or a month before you put out a game to really build up the hype. The Luigi's Mansion game and the Princess Peach game, because those are the two side characters that are basically main characters, and people are going to be like, oh, I really like Luigi, or oh, I really love Princess Peach from this movie, especially with Princess Peach. That's why she's getting her own game right now, right? It's because her character was so successful in the movie in drawing people in towards her character. So I would think they were all supposed to come out, but it's close enough. I mean, it comes out at the end of the year. It comes out, I think it said November or October, probably October, right, for Luigi's Mansion. But I would think these were pushed back a little bit, and that's why there's so much Mario in this one. But yeah, I'd also give it 4.5 stars because for Nintendo fans, I mean, the mainline Nintendo games really got a boost on this. I mean, we got a bunch of Mario, right? We got a bunch of Mario. We got a couple of Pokemon with Detective Pikachu and the Scarlet and Violet DLCs. Oops, we got the Pikmin games. We got something from Zelda, even though it's not a game update. Another thing was a new Splatfest was announced. So I mean, for the mainline games of Mario and Mario Kart 8, they announced the new booster. So for the main line of Switch games and Mario games, it was a big day. It was a big day. Overall, successful in my eyes. Some things I wish I saw there that I didn't, but not much. I think overall, I wasn't really expecting too much going into it, and I got just what I was hoping for and a little bit more out of it. Yeah, so that's the review of the Nintendo Direct. If you haven't seen it, you can go to Nintendo's YouTube page and look for Nintendo Direct June 2023, and you can see all of that there. If you want to find all of our stuff, you can look up Schnabel Studios wherever you get your podcasts, or on YouTube to hear any of the Schnabel Studios family of podcasts, which include Offstage Podcast, Mad Props, and this one of Sketching Up. You can also search it anywhere you get your podcasts, like Spotify, Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, or anywhere else. Search Schnabel Studios, and you will find all of those podcasts and my interviews. You'll find all my old interviews also in that family of podcasts. If you want to follow us, you can follow us on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, TikTok, LinkedIn, and YouTube. Those are all the social medias that we currently own. If you want to reach out to us and talk to us and interact with us, Instagram is the way to go, or Twitter. Go ahead and do that, or you can shoot us an email. You can also go to schnabelstudios.com to find all of the stuff that you're looking for. It is available on mobile or on your desktop. You can go, you can look up Schnabel Studios, and you can see all of the podcasts that we have. You can see our social media right there, and much more will be coming as the site is being built. So that is another way to get in on Schnabel Studios. But for episode 83 of Sketching Up, I've been your host, Chris Schnabel. Thank you for joining and listening about the Nintendo Direct. Go play the new Nintendo games. You're going to love them. And go check it out for yourself if you haven't seen it, and give your own opinion. Let us know what's up. Just look us up and send us a message. All right, we will see you next week. Hopefully we'll be talking a little bit about The Flash. So who knows? We'll have to see if we've even seen it. But for this episode, we are done. We will not talk about The Flash. Hopefully we'll see you next week with The Flash. If not, we'll see you with something else. See you later. Bye-bye.